the easiest business to start online in 2018. Okay, I've got one of my best students who I'm going to be doing an interview with, and he's going to be answering some of the questions that maybe you guys would, currently have. So, Emil, introduce yourself to everybody watching. Tell us about your experience with this method, how you've been able to go from pretty much no income to the point where now you're, I want to say living the dream, man.
Yeah. So back to the story. My name's Emil. I'm 21 years old and I live in Norway. And I actually it's a pretty interesting story with Yvonne here because it all started like a year and a half ago. And I started to attend college. And literally just a month in, I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, I didn't see myself working with numbers all day with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Like, I didn't see that. I wanted to do something bigger. And I already had, passion for computers and stuff. And I really had an interest in business. Before that, I was a bit into stock trading as well. So, yeah, I had some interest in it and some experience from working for myself, right? So literally, while I was in college, like just a month in, it was just like I just looked out of the window. I was like, there must be something out there, like something bigger. You see all these guys with their Lamborghinis and stuff on the internet, right? And you're like, damn, they're so young. Why I have that? And so I start to search all over the place, all over the internet. And luckily, I actually started to attend like about a course where it was like teaching about online stuff and online business and all of that. And I started drop shipping and by using eBay, by leveraging Amazon and eBay. And that's where I actually met Yvonne. That was like around a year and a half ago, that's when I met Yvonne. We started talking, and he actually first taught me how to dropship, and we talked, and yeah, he gave me some great value, and we kept in touch. I just continued to do that, but like in the end, dropshipping didn't make so much sense to me. It wasn't something I would do in the long term. So I continued to like explore several other ventures like Shopify, for instance, and a bit of affiliate marketing as well. But later on, like it would be around a year from now, a bit less than a year actually. I reached out to Yvonne again and we started talking, and he said that what he was doing right now, and that was just this business model where you only needed a laptop and a phone and you could make money by just helping other businesses out. So I was
Right.
like,
Everybody on the internet says that, man. Yeah, you can start this crazy business and you
yeah.
need a laptop and a phone. You don't need anything else. And a Wi-Fi connection, by the way. So,
Yeah, but like the thing was that even though everybody else says that, I knew Yvonne from a bit earlier. So I was like, yeah, well, I'm interested in what he has to say. And he offered me to like be a student of his. He offered to help me out and teach me this model. So I became a student of him, and literally like just the day after, I remember like I had just been emailing a bit and I already saw results. I remember I sent Yvonne a message like, hey, I already got some results, just have to get on a call. And it was like, yeah, it works. So just seeing that someone is interested and just seeing that moment like, hey, something works, I'm doing something right, that was like sort of a breakthrough moment for me. I knew that I was doing something right, and if I could just continue to do this, well, it would be great. So I kept on doing it, and now now I'm doing like 20K in profit a month by just using this model, and I'm living life on my own terms. I can do whatever I want. Like just like my plans later today is just to hang out with some friends and just chilling, because I can do that. So
No,
it's
I know exactly what you mean. I was just at the beach yesterday. I didn't go to the beach today, but I took a long nap. So,
yeah,
uh, a lot of people fail to realize that there's still work involved. I wanted to just share back and forth, some experience with Emil, since he's one of my best students. When was the first time you start seeing money coming in? Because now you're making solid 5 figures a month, right?
yeah.
And when was the first time when you were like, oh, that works, you know?
Oh yeah. Okay,
When
I
was the
remember
first time of like, oh, I'm definitely making it?
that. Yeah. So this was actually like the thing to remember is that I actually sucked at sales. Literally,
Oh
with
yeah.
this model, it is involved with sales, and I was, I was literally like, I remember it was like, it was around Christmas last year. And I was like, I got these calls, right? But I couldn't close them. I
You know,
sucked at
it's funny.
sales.
It's funny. Sorry to interrupt, man. You know what it was with you? You were sending me the recordings of the phone calls, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so bad." I was even thinking of giving up on you. I was like, "Oh my god, I don't even want to say it to the guy." But you persevered. You pushed through.
Yeah, I did. Like the thing was that I actually sucked, and as Yvonne said, like he had to, we had to get on Skype on Saturdays, and he had to listen to me and like, yeah, do this better, do this,
Yeah.
and like with the feedback and help, I just kept on pursuing. And like, just for example, like if I take a call now with, for example, a realtor, it's like I remember that if I just like if I'm going to take some free trials, like it's sort of different however you leverage this model. But if I'm selling on free trials, like where they pay for like the service, so it's actually not free. But the thing is that like I remember I've had several days where I'm just calling and it's like I'm closing 5 people in a single day because that's the power of it, right? And you just have to follow up and just keep delivering. So back to the story, like when I had my first breakthrough moment, since I sucked at sales, I started around November, December, and I just kept pursuing it. Like to sell in a different language, that's a whole other thing. Like it's so different from selling in my native language, in my mother
And,
tongue.
and by the way, just so everybody knows, you also thought about giving up, right?
Oh yeah, I did. Like several times. You literally had to pull me up. Like back in February, I was in like this how do I say it? A very slow pace, right? I had like been taking on some like around 5 calls a day, but I didn't get any sales, right? So I was like, damn, like I know it works, but there's something wrong with me. I have to work on it, right? But the matter of fact is that the only way to get better at something is to be consistent about doing it. You just have to practice and practice, practice. Eventually, you told me that, so I just kept on going. And like just in like the end of February and the beginning of March, I started to see like great results because I became much better at it. And that was when I started seeing clients. That
Yeah.
was when I started seeing money coming in. I was like, damn, this works.
Awesome. Awesome. And how has your life changed since then? Like, what are the things that you're capable of doing now than you weren't before?
Oh,
And how's your
so
situation changed as well? I mean, obviously,
yeah.
I mentioned that you're making solid 5 figures a month, but how is that translated into actually bettering your life? How's your life look now, bro?
Yeah, better in my life. Like the thing is that while a lot of people say that money changes you and shows who the real you are, like for instance with me, literally I I become a healthier guy. Like I started exercising, started
Yeah,
meditating.
'cause you got more time, right?
I got a lot more time, and I didn't have to like work for the money. The money works a bit more for me now. And that frees up some time. Like, I can go to the gym and I can have a great breakfast. Like, for example, my dad, he is actually retired soon, and he's been like partially retired for some months now. I can now spend time with him, help him out. Like, I can even be with my grandmother if I want to, like a lot of times, which I am. I'm visiting my grandfather as well, spending time with friends, doing what I want, go on vacations if I want to. Like, I've been to Spain, for example. So it's like, yeah, it gives you so much freedom that you don't know what to do with all the time, literally.
Good, man. I've had to start many different projects, although we've grown now to, seven, the agency has grown to be, 7 people now. We've got four,
Yeah.
we've got 4 sales guys and 3 Facebook ad managers now. And you know what it's like to be working with people now. You've actually become a business owner, not just
Yeah.
not just working in the business, but you've actually, learned to, and still learning to delegate, less important tasks, and so you can free up your time. So you'll learn how to leverage people as well, okay? Which is the real side of owning a business, okay?
Yeah.
Good, man. Good stuff. What I'm going to do is let's wrap this interview. Maybe we'll come back in a later time and explain further what are the exact steps that everybody needs to take in order for them to start a business and, learn how to run it successfully and make money with it, because that's the ultimate goal. All
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Thank you for participating in this interview, and thanks for anybody who's been watching until that point. I'll see you all soon.